Everybody stand up. I'm sorry, you have to put your drink down. So it's pretty early in the show, and we could all stand to get a little more connected here. So root down through your feet and bring your hands to your ribs, please. My God, we're doing yoga. And if it's comfortable for you, go ahead and close your eyes. If it's not, just relax your gaze. And from here, feel your breath. And on your next exhale, send all the breath out. Deflate your lungs, let it all go. And then take an inhale through your nose, from your belly to your ribs, to your chest. Hold that breath in. Exhale, let it go from your chest to your ribs, to your belly. Hold that breath out. Take an inhale, start at your tailbone, travel up your spine, through your middle back, your shoulders, your neck, and hold. Exhale, descend your spine, send the breath all the way out. Let it go. One more, big full inhale in, feel your ribs expand. Exhale out, feel them come together. Good. Open your eyes, and you can have a seat. So you guys just did some yoga breathing. And we have several misconceptions of yoga out there. It's usually the skinny, happy white woman, right? Or the super enlightened, skinny, brown Indian man. Basically, it's just hungry people. So if that was your idea of yoga, please get off Instagram and Facebook. Because for me, yoga was always about healing my mind. And where I teach, yoga looks more like this, because I teach in women's prisons through my nonprofit, Root to Rise. So what do these people who are incarcerated have in common with over half of the general public in the US? They've all suffered some form of trauma. And we're talking about abnormal trauma here, things that aren't supposed to happen in life. Rape, abuse, the over 8% of Americans that have been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress. And the thing about all these people is, as well as the women that I teach, they have children. 35 million children in the US have suffered some sort of trauma before the age of 6. And it's so bad that it's actually changed their physiology. So how does this affect us? Well, it's society. Even if you're somebody like me who's pretty unscathed by trauma in their life, I still have to deal with it because this is everybody that I come into contact with. Same for you guys. So how do we fix it? I'm an attorney and a teacher, and I propose the same thing that very progressive psychiatrists and doctors do, and that's yoga. And how does this work? Well, you all come with this feature that's super rad, and it's called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve runs from your brain down to your belly. All the really important organs that you need to stay alive, vagus nerve sends signals to that, and then back up to the brain. We have more nerve endings in our guts than we do in our brain. And so it's this feedback loop, and it keeps everything copacetic and keeps us running pretty well. It's also a reset button. Whenever we need to go into fight or flight, whenever something affects us and we need to get away from it, the vagus nerve is there to say, when everything's cool, hey, chill out, you're good, go back to normal. Now, a lot of things can set you off. Bills, fight with a spouse, a blue million things. But for people who've been through significant trauma, sometimes they stay switched in that on position of fight or flight. They can't come out of it. So what do we do to fix that? There's a little thing called vagus nerve stimulation that works to fix that works to bring them back down, to kick the calming mechanism on. And you can do that a couple different ways. One is insert a pacemaker in yourself, and it sends electrical messages to your nerve, and it seems rather expensive and unsavory. And the other one is through deep breathing. It's the same breathing that we use in yoga. You have an area, a space, where you can extend the inhalation and extend the exhalation. And what that does is that it sends biofeedback to the body that influences the autonomic system that says, hey, chill out, you're good. All right, so that's a lot of heady stuff. This is explaining self-healing, and there's no pill, and it takes a lot of work, just like building a good skeletal muscle takes a lot of work. So if you plan on hitting up the bar pretty heavy later, or for example, you're like, I'm not going to retain what this chick said with the weird hair at the very beginning, grab underneath your seat and pull that piece of paper off of it. You've won a Ford Focus. You haven't won a Ford Focus. You've won a cheat sheet of my presentation that you can wow your friends with later. And you can retain it, and you can get numbers, whatever you need to do. But the whole point is we can do this. We can change society. We can change ourselves through this self-healing. And just like you saw that Yoda said, yeah, the dark side looks back, but go ahead and embrace the dark side and just see what you can do with that. Thank you.